Unplugged Borders, brought to you by Smoda's Volcano Sauce.
Tom Stade, the Stadian Army captain. How you doing, buddy?
I'm fucking dynamite, Helgi. I'm honored to be on your podcast with your cool equipment there, man.
No.
Everybody looks like they're a DJ booth nowadays.
That's the thing. Comics, like we can't do shows. And well, in Iceland we have a saying which is "Neyðin kennir naktri konu spinna." Or
of course you do.
The necessity teaches the naked woman to dance. So we can't do shows anymore. So comedians are still left with that sense of self-importance. So we'll just go, hey, fuck it, I'll do a podcast. Who doesn't want to listen to my voice all day?
Of course they do, Helgi, especially the Chinese.
Yeah, there you go.
Or they wouldn't know where the fuck they're going. They'd step into some hot Icelandic lava.
Yeah, that's, why wouldn't they want to do that? When I was a tour guide, I was taking some Chinese people to the Blue Lagoon. This is back during the tourist time. And I was explaining how the Blue Lagoon and geothermal energy works. And I said, well, the Blue Lagoon is heated by geothermal energy, which comes from the lava and the molten core of the earth. And they literally, one guy started freaking out because he thought we were going to go swimming in lava.
Yeah, that's way to go, dumb Chinese guy.
That's a question
you know what? There's always one in every culture. Even his Chinese buddies probably turned to him and went, Mao Ling, are you going to be retarded again? Fuck, we can't bring this guy anywhere, man. We went to Iceland, and the tour guide, he thought he was going to have to swim in lava. How this guy survived?
He's the guy who inherited his wealth as opposed to work for it.
Totally. That's totally most the Chinese people. They totally inherited their wealth. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to blanket everybody, of course, but I do have my own assumptions and opinions, which are sometimes a little dangerous, but I can guarantee that they got a whole bunch of new money over there, man. If I've looked at my economic books right without causing any offense to anybody.
Well, you know that as a Canadian, right? Vancouver is, of course you got your Tim Hortons coffee there.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. Is that what they call it?
That's the nickname for it. I'm here to tell you the truth and not dance around.
It's 20% Chinese in Vancouver?
Oh yeah, man. But that's the thing, man. Like when you go to Vancouver, Chinatown is killer, man. It is fucking awesome. You're not just Chinatown in London's pretty cool, but Vancouver, it's honestly, I'm in China. This is wicked.
Do you I don't know, because China, up until very, very recently was held up, or Canada was held up until very recently as this perfect example of how a Western country can work with China, because Canada is basically America without the Yahoos. So, it was very the cultural representative of Canada to China was a guy named Dashan or Mark Rosenthal. He spoke fluent Chinese. Everybody in China loved Canada. That's where they aspired to go to university to, learn and not get shot at the same time. And it was just a beautiful relationship. But then, it only took, one arrest of the CEO of the daughter of Huawei. And now a lot of Canadians who had life sentences for drug smuggling, all of a sudden they got it reversed. Now they're on death row. 2 former Canadian diplomats are arrested. It's it's weird.
What a shitty job they had. It was going good for a while until this bitch fucked it up.
Exactly. And it wasn't even their bitch. It was basically America said to Canada, listen, you guys need to arrest this bitch on our behalf because of some shit we had with Iran. And Canada went, yeah sure, because we need to sell you, I guess, an oil pipeline or something. And now Canada is hated by China. It goes to show there's never a healthy relationship when it comes to international relations. This is why we should all just stay fuck buddies and then get what we need out of each other and then stop.
I like your way of thinking, Helgi. That is a fabulous. I don't know what the Icelandic saying is for that. We should all be fuck buddies and then just get over it.
Just something that somebody proposed at the UN.
But Canada's so weenie like that, man. Canada's just like, they're kind of like Iceland in a way. They just want everybody to get along. You know what I mean? So it just takes one tyrant to show up and fuck them all over, man.
Well, I mean, that's the vibe you get from Trudeau is that, you know, everyone is like, no, we're not going to be bullied by our friends or enemies, but we just want everyone to be.
We're going to be bought.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
we're not going to be bullied, but we will charge you a fee.
Well, it's like, well, we have 30 million people in Canada, but, you know, we got plenty of land, so just make sure you come and tell us what you're all about.
Yeah, man. But half the land nobody wants to live on. It's like Australia. Nobody wants to live out on the prairie. Oh, God, yeah. The people out in the prairies, I love tourists that come there and they start hitchhiking in like freaking November, and then they're arrested for attempted suicide because it's minus 42 below.
Really? Like, nobody wants to buy property in Saskatchewan?
Not a chance. You end up in Saskatchewan by birth, buddy. Nobody moves there.
And do you think that, you know, being Canadian helps you in the UK? Because I know there's a lot of animosity towards Americans. You know, we used to do shows a lot in Glasgow, and you know, we have a great lineup. Everyone's doing, you know, great jokes, great fun. And then I'd show up. I don't know if I was just bombing that night, but as soon as I start talking with an American accent,
Helgi, the killer of comedy.
Nah. Let's talk about our shows in Northampton. That was a rough one, man.
That was so much fun.
It was. That was such a fun tour. You know,
I loved it, Helgi. I loved meeting you. I loved meeting your friend, who was really interesting.
Oh, Your
I
Highness.
Can't even remember his name. Fuck me, man. But you know what I really was impressed with your friend? Is from the first show he did, he kind of didn't fucking get it. But it took him only one show to readjust and then kill it the next night. So, like, I was blown away by that. I hope you had a good experience and all that.
He did. He loved touring with you. And what he said was that, yeah, he reiterated that point, that he had a really rough time the first time around because he has the very thick Icelandic accent. And he said that he thought that might have thrown some people off. But the thing is, like, I had a really rough night the first night at the Rondo. You know, we had a lot of fun in Bath. We did, 2 shows at the Rondo Theatre in Bath. We did Bristol, which was by far the best show of the whole tour.
We had the Kasabian guy there, partied with him. That
absolutely.
was cool. Kasabian showed up.
I was just, I mean, I needed 3 months of just maternity leave when I got back to Iceland after partying with you, after all those shows. Because the Rondo Theatre, that was fun because you had picked me up in Bristol after I'd landed there from Edinburgh. I was with a buddy of mine. We were seeing Toto live in concert in Glasgow, and then I flew down to Bristol. You'd picked me up, and then you said, like, you'd absolutely been...
Hold it, you got to back up for a sec. You saw Toto? I thought they were dead.
It's like, you know, it's like when you see Anthony Hopkins doing, you know, when he was doing another movie, you're like, wow, I can't believe they're still going.
He's still alive. What?
I don't know. I mean,
I gotta start watching more TV.
Oh, because that's another thing. Like they're not getting laid anymore for singing Africa. They're just doing it because it's like a contractual obligation.
Oh, hold on. Let's not assume that, man. I'm pretty sure it's just the pussy that they're getting isn't as young as it used to be. I'm pretty sure there's a 61-year-old girl named Roseanne that's sucking his dick right now.
Just like, oh my God, it's always song number 2 when they do Roseanne. I'm just going to wait and see it, and then I'm going to get so wet.
And then I'm going to chuck my panties at him, and he's going to remember me from 1986. He's going to grab him and go, Roseanne, is that you?
Man, that was...
listen, Helgi, anytime you're a foreign guy in a different country, they love it. They absolutely love it because in Canada, like I'm just another Canadian, man. You know what I mean? You don't stand out. But anytime you go to another country, number one, it helps you become a little bit more worldly and totally helps your material. And number two, you know, they've seen English comics. They love their English comics, but it's always good to have something else, you know, just a little flavor that's different from what they've had before. And that's why I love, you know, the UK. I'm never going back, man. This place rocks.
Yeah, no, UK is definitely a great, like the only thing I had to say about the UK is that sometimes they do promote comedy, which is a bit esoteric. I had this conversation. I had this conversation during the Fringe a couple years ago with some British guys because they were saying that because they were talking about how American comics they didn't understand why it traveled so well, why it was so worldly, and they were saying like, well, they do like the low hanging fruit, and I was like, that's exactly why. You see, you know, you
Hold
can't.
up. What did they say? I don't understand that. If you like the low-hanging fruit, right?
No, so they said like, oh, they'll talk about, you know, stuff that's like very simple, very sort of, oh, my girlfriend did this.
Like
very sort of,
are they saying the Americans say that, or the Americans say the English say that?
No. The English were saying that the Americans talk. When they do comedy, it's very low-hanging fruit. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Whereas their point
the great ones.
No, that's true. No, that's true. I mean, you know, you watch Bill Hicks and stuff, and that definitely wasn't his MO. But their point, what they were trying to say was that British comedians, they'll tend to go for a little bit more sort of complex. They like sort of complex humor. But I was saying the point I was trying to make was that it's often very, very esoteric. So like you'll have a comedian going to Norway, like Frankie Boyle going to Norway talking about Specsavers is not going to be, it's not going to land well because they're not in that world.
Right.
But on the other hand, the UK is very, very good for internationalism because Americans, they don't have that sort of periphery of the outside world. And I was going to ask because
they're getting it. They're totally getting it now. Like I remember when I first came here, there were no Americans. There were none. And this is going back to like, 2004 or something like that. Mm-hmm. When I first came there was no Americans. And then the first Americans that showed up was like Paul Provenza and all of those guys. And they started open the door to the more Americans showing up here, which is also a good thing, man, because their comedy is so, like, it's on the pulse of what's going on. You know what I mean? Whereas the English people talk about the individual, I think that the Americans talk about the situation.
Very good. That's a really good analogy. Yeah. But I mean, do you think you did the same thing for Canadian comics coming to the UK?
Yeah, but Canada has a symbiotic relationship with the UK because, like, we're part like of the Commonwealth and all of that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So we grew up on. I don't know about the Americans. I don't think they did. Like they'd have to watch PBS or something like that. But we grew up with the Monty Pythons. We grew up with the Blackadders and the Irish guy that told jokes in a chair and the two Ronnies. You know what I mean? So we had that. We're kind of like Australia in that way. That before, but we also had the American influence. So what was great about Canada is it can merge the two together. So when I got over here, it was the same as you. It took me a few gigs to figure it out. But once I figured it out, man, it was rip-roaring easy. And it was so much fun, man. That's what I think.
That's a really good point.
Because the Americans don't have any other influences but America. So when they do go out, you know, like Patrice O'Neill would come out here. He was one of the first guys to show up in England, man. I remember seeing him, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he was, and it was funny because he was one of those guys that could adapt real easy. Whereas the comics now, you know, they don't, this is my purely blanket judgment, but you know, they try to write jokes instead of think. You know what I mean? They'll say, hey, I really need to write a joke about this coffee cup. Okay, what can we say about this coffee cup that's really funny? Whereas, you know, with the really good ones, they come over here, they assess the situation, they put their American spin on it, and they just don't ride with whatever they were saying back in New York or whatever, wherever the fuck they're from, Utah or whatever. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah,
But,
no, that's a good point.
I mean, that's just me being judgy and all that stuff, and making me feel good about myself for some reason. But hey, put somebody down if you want to feel better about yourself.
Because I just thought of when you were mentioning that when we were in Bristol we were downstairs in the hotel lobby, and we were doing some writing, and you were mentioning about, this is when you were writing the joke about how you need reservations at was it a jury's?
Oh, the Brewers Fair.
The Brewers Fair, yeah. The Brewers,
Yeah.
like you need No, it's the Jury's Inn, the hotel where they asked you when you're checking into the hotel, would you like reservations for tonight? You know?
Yeah, like I didn't know this was the hot spot of.
This is like, wow. Is there a maitre d'? Do I have to tip him? You know, is there?
Yeah.
And we were going
Slip
through
me a $5. Slip me a $5. I want to sit next to the window so I can watch that homeless guy.
Or the homeless guy licking the window or something. It's just,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's our anniversary.
Only the best for you, baby.
Yeah, man. We wrote some good ones on that tour, man. That's on a CD now, man. Fucking, but I love it because it's buried and gone now. We're always on to the next thing. That's the other thing that the UK teaches you, man, is that you got to write really fast, man. You can't sit around on your hour from last year. You got to be writing your hour while you're touring your hour.
Very true. Russell Peters, when he sold out the O2 Arena for the first time, he showed up there, and it was just like he bombed. He didn't bomb that bad, but he didn't do as good as he had hoped, and it was enough for him to mention it the next time he sold out a big theater in the UK, that he said, like, yo, you can laugh at this. But what he basically did was he went to the UK, went to the O2 Arena, and just rehashed his whole old stuff that everybody had already seen. And people thought, like, I'm not going to go find parking at the O2 Arena to go listen to something I can find on YouTube.
Yes, man. But that's the curse of being that big, man. He's got to keep up with, like, the Bill Burrs of the world. You know what I mean? He's got to keep up with the Louis C.K.'s as soon as he comes back.
He's been touring Europe, actually.
Yeah, why not, man? Who gives a fuck? I don't care. I'm not with the mob, man. I'm just not with the mob. I can separate his actions from his show. I'm not that kind of a guy, man. We got a real bad mob mentality going on out there, Helgi.
Yeah, but I don't
be part of it. It'll disappoint me.
No, I know. No, because what I don't understand is there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for when a person needs to be canceled. Charlie Sheen last year got a Super Bowl commercial. You know, he locked a woman in a closet with a gun willingly. I don't know if he willingly, but he was giving people AIDS. He was, you know, treating women like shit. And, you know, a guy, he jacks off and then he's, you know, public enemy number Hitler. So
until he's actually convicted of something.
Yes,
that was my whole thing. Like Bill Cosby, I get it. They took him to court. He got charged. He's a criminal. But Louis he used his power to get some pussy. It's like, what boss doesn't? It's like a female boss. You don't think Madonna has banged a few dudes because she threatened to take a couple of awesome big dick dancers? She didn't go, if you don't fuck me, you're off the tour. But did anybody fucking do that to Madonna? And I will guarantee that happened, man. You know what I mean? Like, of course it did. If Taylor Swift saw a dancer she liked and said, you know, and that dancer tried to turn her down, do you think he'd be on the tour? No, of course he wouldn't. No. So it's this virtual signaling that these people sit there and go, oh, well, he did that, which makes us better. But to me, he's still a great comedian. Yeah. And what he did wasn't good or anything like that.
It was sad. It was sad if anything. It was sad if anything.
Yeah, it was sad if anything.
You know,
but it doesn't mean that he's canceled.
No.
You know what I mean? In fact, it's that suffering. It's the suffering he had going through that period of his life that will probably ultimately be one of the funniest shows he could possibly do, because there ain't no funny without suffering, man. You ever see the guys that get so rich that they've got no suffering? They become lame. And they get a Netflix special, and we're all like, "Oh, I can't wait! Oh God, this is so boring."
Well, it's like when
I saw Michael McIntyre's the other day, and I love Michael. I love him dearly.
Yeah,
but man,
I know where this is going. Yeah,
it was so hard because I owe everything to Michael for my career. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to ever play it, but you know, when I walk off stage in a bad show, comedians don't go, "That was great, Tom." But because you get really big and famous, everybody tells you, "Oh, that was awesome." Like you know it's bad when they don't comment on the material and they just go, "Well, he was a real good showman."
Yeah, it was a great showman. Yeah, I think when or they're just saying that because they're hoping that they get to open for him on his next tour. But that's
not saying that Michael isn't going to come back and do a great show. Next one, you know what I mean? Like everybody has that. I'm not saying that, but I mean the problem is Michael's got no suffering.
Yeah,
he's got. What is he going to talk about? Fucking how his pool wasn't cleaned. You really in touch. Like the closest thing he had to relatability was getting up at night to piss in the toilet.
Yeah, I mean
when you him, I feel that.
When you have become less relatable to the common man than Tiger King, I think that is that's probably a sign.
Yeah,
people go Joe Exotic.
It's the curse of being. Yeah, it's the curse of getting rich and famous, man.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's the journey, not the destination. I don't know what Icelandic thing that is, but I think that pretty much holds true in comedy too, man.
Well, especially comedy.
I don't want to get rich. It'll make me unfunny. That can't happen.
Especially in comedy.
I need to self-sabotage on a daily basis.
You're gonna keep driving that Honda until it literally falls apart, like the end of Blues Brothers when the car just.
Dude, don't down my Honda, man.
No, I love that.
I got that with 15,000 miles on it. 2007 brand new car. It's up to 73,000, and it's still got 130 to go before I have to spend money on another car.
Well, you don't have to, because that was when that shit was built to last, right? Like
man.
That time, and yeah, I mean that great. You have a great joke about it, which is that like I don't mind having that car because if somebody steals it, I know it's an emergency.
It's an emergency. Totally.
And
somebody's jacking that one and going for a joyride. That was stolen by somebody whose wife's having a baby. We're taking this one. Smash.
Don't worry, he won't mind. No.
Yeah, man. You get caught, like, even in this COVID time, man. See, I remember Willie Nelson, man. Okay, I remember watching him. And he got caught for tax evasion and all that sort of stuff. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you know what I realized at that point is status is really expensive, man. Like to have status, to believe that you need that 5-bedroom house. Like I live in a 1-bedroom because all I ever want is a place that I can chuck my fucking suitcases in, a nice bed and all of that sort of stuff. Like I could have like bigger shit, but I know that if I get bigger shit, that means I have to work fucking harder. I'd rather work harder and still live like a teenager because then you got the money to spend. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't do that, man. I'm probably going to have $1 trillion and still be in my 1-bedroom, and it'll be amazing because even when I do get done for tax fraud, I'll have tons of money to survive.
It's going to be like Al Capone. That'll be the one thing they finally get you on.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
you betcha, baby.
It's a good point because I mean, like,
although not because I have an accountant.
There you go. It'll be his ass. But no, it's a good point you're making because, like, look at the evolution of like Ellen, right? You know, the person, the Ellen who.
That was a weird one, man.
Yeah,
that's how weird this world's gone. Is we care about the work conditions of a lesbian comic who get out of here. She was a bit of a bitch. Fuck off.
Yeah, no,
That's so
I know.
her.
It's storm in a glass of water, but like it goes from the sort of, like she was marginalized when she was starting out. It's probably hard to come out.
Yeah.
And then
She probably took a lot of heat, man.
Oh, definitely. And then you get to the point where you got the TV show, you got the fame, you got everything, and from what I gather, from what most of the people have been saying who've been on her show, who've been talking to her, and who've been working for her, is that fame really just got to her. The fame and the money, and that level of sympathy.
But wait a second, who doesn't have a shitty boss? Do you know what I mean? Like,
but she's selling herself as likable. That's the difference.
Tons of buddies that their boss rides their fucking ass. Yeah, but so is the boss down at the Circle K. So is the manager. He's a really nice guy to the customers, but backstage he's a fucking asshole. Yeah, I mean that's what I don't get, man. Like and most people when they know their boss is an asshole, they figure out what kind of an asshole he is or she is, and then they play so my boss likes golfing, so I'll learn to golf and get along with my boss. But instead, these people didn't even want to get along with her. You know what I mean? And then they just all came out like she was the biggest douchebag in the world. And then she came on saying, "I'm a work in progress." I'm like, you fucking people, please.
Fucking hell.
Why don't you just come out and say, "I'm a fucking bitch"? Whatever.
It'd be like that. Yeah, just do it. Pull Dennis Leary and just come out with a song. I'm an asshole. Deal with it.
Yeah, man. I didn't get that one. I'm more for Ellen. Just because she is funny. She is likable. But I mean, also let's not forget, to get to the top, you can't be a nice guy, man. That's why I ain't there, man. Every dude, every friend I know that made it to the top, it's not that they're not great people, but when you get up into those upper echelons, business gets a lot tougher, man. You think a dog eat dog down here. Wait till you get to the top, man. Like Mickey Rourke wants to kick the fuck out of Robert De Niro, for fuck's sakes, because Robert De Niro fucked him over in the movie The Irishman, and that's on a mega level, man.
Is that them really wanting to duke it out, or is that just their agents keeping them, alive through publicity?
Oh no, I want to see Mickey Rourke kick the fuck out of an old man badly.
I think that
totally badly.
That would be something that 2020 deserves, after all the shit that we've been going through. Seeing Mickey Rourke
I would love to punk Mickey Rourke and put him in the same. I'd like a show where we punk Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro and get them into McDonald's together.
No, they'd have to be there for like the early bird special, and they'd go at each other because somebody cut in line
over hash browns.
I think that's but like you look at guys like Keanu Reeves, right? He's just some guy who's held. I think
I just saw his new movie.
The Ted and Bill and Ted, the remake.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Smoked a big joint. There was some real funny fucking. You can't not smoke a joint and watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. You just can't. There were some pretty funny scenes, man.
I think I mean, obviously, I'll be very stereotypical of me to say, but I did like the original better. I think.
Have you seen the new one?
Yeah. I went to see it last week, and I didn't smoke.
The one where they're talking to themselves. I never really knew myself. That's my fault.
Yeah. Oh, when they raided, what was it? They raided the mansion of was it? Who was the musician that they raided the mansion of? They were Dave Grohl or somebody or
Dave Grohl. Yeah, when they had to get out of there, and their twins kept trying to kill them.
Yeah,
it was great.
I'm
not saying it's a great movie. Movie. What I'm saying is there were funny laugh out loud scenes. I rank it up there with like Talladega Nights. Not a great movie, but some really funny fucking scenes, man.
And especially like as a performer, one of the scenes I related to the most was when they go like first time when they go like 2-3 years in the future and they're playing like a 10 a.m. show, in some like hotel lobby. I'm like, there you go. That is because how many times like you've released something, you put out a special, you've done something great, you've done a great hour at the Fringe, and you think this is it, and then 2 years later, I'm like, all right, so listen, guys, the raffle lottery will be starting in about an hour, but beforehand, you have a stand-up comedian. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I'm up here doing what I love.
Do you love me now, Daddy?
Yeah, I don't care about the money. I'm still alive.
I'm doing it.
Tons of friends like that, man.
I did a show a couple years ago with the Red Cross. So they were raising money for like displaced kids in Syria, and I feel like when you're doing comedy, the lifestyle that we live, you got to sometimes do a charity show. Like charity is great, but I hate the shows themselves because they just misread the whole room. They think comedy works for everything. So the person who was on the lineup was basically the announcer who was like trying to get people to give money, and then my warm-up act, this woman who went on before me, was a Canadian girl who worked for the Red Cross, who gave a PowerPoint presentation about the war in Syria. So she's going up there, she's going on saying,
just breaking the ice, just getting them all warmed up.
So Aleppo has changed a lot since the last time I was there, when I held the hands of a dying child who'd been hit by sniper fire. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for that powerful presentation. Okay, guys, so we have a comedian here tonight. Oh, like, oh, fuck. I mean, you do those shows and you go, you know what, that's fine, but you're always going to get a nice story out of it, and I think that's. Like if a musician goes somewhere and plays Wonderwall for an hour, it's going to be a shit show, and there's nothing.
I would have walked up and said, I adopted Haji, the kid that you were hauling. He wasn't dead. He actually survived, and he's living in my basement now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tom Stade. Remember when we did Live Aid and none of the money went to Ethiopia? That was fun, huh? Is any of the money going to get there?
Which warlord do you think this money's going to get funneled to?
That's the problem with charity, man. It never makes it to the fucking people, man.
Yeah.
It never, ever makes it to the people. They always go water aid. I know people in the water aid thing, and I know how much money they've had. Yet Africa, the places that they go to, still have no fucking water, man. Why don't we just buy them bottles of water and send them over?
Well,
give me an address.
Because there's no money in fixing Africa. It's like pharmaceuticals. They need to keep you kind of sick so they can keep capitalizing on it, right?
Yeah, or what? It doesn't have to. Actually, Africa seems to be doing pretty good compared to the Syrians and all that. Oh, I don't want to keep going to Africa. You know what? Africa is so 1980s.
I know they're like the
80s.
They're the Japan of suffering. They were big in the 80s. They kind of went down in the 90s, and now we're thinking about other things.
They're amazing now. If you don't invest in Africa, you're ridiculous. They're like their cities are thriving and all of that. Yeah. Like I think they're going to be okay. I think it's like all these. Whatever the Syrian, anything near Russia for some reason seems to be getting its ass kicked, man.
Yeah.
Anytime there's people that strap bombs on and are willing to kill themselves, property prices are probably going down at that point.
Well, that explains why Ukraine was so fucking cheap.
Whenever I see Syria, right, and I think about because we only know them as Syrian refugees, but they're not. They're people like me and you, right? So whenever I see that, I know there's a guy on a boat fucking trying to get over here going, I can't believe I just paid the last payment off on that fucking apartment they blew up. This is fucking bullshit. Now I'm on a fucking boat. My bank card doesn't work. And people are calling me a fucking refugee.
Oh, man.
You know that's them, right? But they put that stigma on them. They put that stigma on them. They're not refugees. They're dudes that bought a house. They're a barber. They're all of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we call them refugees, so we just feel awesome about ourselves. by not letting them in.
Yeah, I think that's well, the ironic part of that is that they're basically just refugees for the time being. The word, like, the refugees in 200 years ago were Irish people, were Germans heading to the New World. Refugees, who knows? And like, who knows? Refugee next year could be California.
Us.
Yeah, Americans. People
I'm from Portland, whatever, refugee.
Yeah.
Our state burnt down. Can I come in? No.
No. You know what? We don't want people coming to our country, starting riots, smashing windows. I know that's what you're all about. We're generalizing everybody from Oregon in that manner. Oh, you're from Seattle? It's the same thing. I mean, you're all white. You're all wearing those Antifa things. We don't want terrorism in our country. So, no.
Exactly, man. Times, truth changes, man. You know what I mean? It changes. Like, what was true 10 years ago ain't true now. So people that sit there and go, that's the truth. You're like, probably it's the truth for now, but it'll change, man. So never have a conviction, man. That's the worst. People who have conviction. That's the problem with all Americans. Not all Americans. There we go.
Let's go from the generalizing part to make another generalization.
I'm just going to tar everybody. But the problem is that all those people, they have this conviction that they're right, that they're super right, which stops them from hearing other people's ideas. And that's why you think America's fucked up now. It is going to get super fucked up.
Oh,
and I'm loving it. I'm like George Carlin. I don't have a front row to the freak show. I'm kind of sitting in the back. I bought cheaper tickets. It's still a good show. I can't see the whole stage.
This is filling into Canadian Schadenfreude, like 1, 2, and 3. Like because first of all, Canada is going to be the one giving America the Mexico treatment. You know what? We have to build a wall, eh? We have to build a wall and make sure America pays for it, eh? And then
all Canada's. I'll tell you what Canada's going to do. We're going to fucking breed a shitload of bears and just put them on the border.
It's going to be bears.
We're going to have a bear problem.
It's going to be bears with hockey skates guarding the border.
Yeah. We'll totally teach them how to fucking balance on balls and shit, man. It'll be great. We'll have fun with it.
We will, but this is the point is that it's only temporarily. I mean, like, look at the UK. It wasn't Syrian refugees or Muslims that were getting the sort of the evil eye. I mean, 30 years ago it was people with an Irish accent. It's like, oh, is this guy gonna bomb our pub? Is this guy gonna, and who
probably,
and who knows?
Probably we fucked them over. Hey, why are all the people in Iraq mad at us? 'Cause we blew their fucking country to shit.
Exactly.
Imagine it. Look at how mad you got when 2 of your buildings got knocked down. You knocked down their whole city, man. Again, there was a guy that goes, shock and awe, I just paid for this apartment. And somebody blows up your country, you're not going to like them.
Nope.
Get that through your fucking head, man.
It's not because
you have a house and your neighbor comes over and burns it down. You're not going to say, what's their fucking problem? Why are they so fucking
They
bad?
hate us because we're free, Tom. No. I mean, it's not because they're white. It's not because they're Christian. Nobody shouts death to Canada. I mean, that sentence doesn't process.
No, man. And I love the Americans sitting there going, I can't believe the Russians are interfering in our elections. I'm always like, how many fucking regime changes
when they say that, South
You're
America.
Like, shut the fuck up. It's the first time it's happened to you, and you don't like it. Fuck you, man. I hope Russia just digs in and Trump's there for another 4 years, and all the girls are crying, And everybody, oh, this is the most horrible thing that's ever happened to us. Well, it's your own fucking fault, man.
Yeah, you know that when America started bitching about
And
the
if
election
anybody's
interference.
wondered why I'm wearing a toque right now, by the way, it's because I turned 50, and my son and my son's girlfriend and my beautiful gal bought me this toque that's got Bluetooth headphones in it.
Fuck.
So I'm talking through my microphone in this here.
Oh,
But I'm
dude,
looking at
look
myself
you.
going, people might think I have cancer right now.
Or you just
Should we get him some money to go swim with the dolphins?
or that he can't afford eating. No.
He got cancer. That's why he switched to vape.
Oh man. Well, I suppose if you get cancer at that point, might as well just cash in, just go all in. Start lighting cigars.
Oh, heroin's coming my way. I've got smack on the list, man. I know the dealer. As soon as cancer comes, baby, it is gonna be the funnest time of my life. It's always the best time when you just get down to the bottom of the death hill. Okay,
right.
We're coming into the lobby. Fucking speed up.
Yeah, because you think their whole life, well, maybe I can. I mean, that's why I love Louis C.K.'s comedy, because he says that, in terms of like this is me in presentation condition. But when I get to the point where there's nobody left in my life, it's just going to be absolute chaos. And I think, people and they have that same sort of mentality towards whatever, drugs or alcohol or, oh yeah, I ran marathons in my 20s, but, now I'm dying from leukemia or whatever. So I might as well just go to South America and just live on cocaine for a year and just, I don't know, fuck prostitutes. And that's
Guess
like
who my best friend is? This guy that knows how to make ayahuasca. I don't even know his fucking name. But we seem to get along really good as long as I have money.
That's when you really see human nature. You really see human nature when you have nobody left to either please or fulfill but yourself.
Yeah, man. But that's the generation we're living in, man. You know what I mean? Like, we got nobody. We think we do on Facebook and all of that stupid stuff, but it's just narcissistic bullshit. You know what I mean? It's all look at me, get a like, get a fucking, it's really gone bad, man. Like, everybody gets a trophy, all of that crap. We're all equal. We're not all equal. Yeah. Some of us are better than others. So that's like, you're telling me that I'm as equal as LeBron James? Shut the fuck up. He's way more awesome than I am. Do you know what I mean?
He gets the trophy. We'll get the participation award.
Yeah, I'm not getting the same trophy as LeBron fucking James just because I participated. Shut up.
Yeah.
Grow up, world. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's true.
Is the problem.
But this is, I mean, I would say it's not the kids growing up. Part of the problem is it's not their fault, essentially, because it wasn't themselves.
It is their fault.
Well, hold on, but it wasn't
their fault.
But Tom, who was the ones who gave them those participation awards? Who were the helicopter parents who, who basically inflated that idea that they needed to be protected and balled up? I mean, when they get
not my kids. I'll tell you.
No, I know,
like
but
19 and 20, and they don't even. My daughter, maybe. My daughter.
But Mason,
Mason shuns it, man. He thinks it's so gay. He's like, this is the gayest thing ever. but my daughter loves it. But she's also, she knows what it is. Do you know what I mean? But there's people that just, they live on it. Like I heard a girl committed suicide because they lost her whatever account and all her followers, and that just put her in such a depression that she offed herself. That's ridiculous, man. Like, what? I learned something the other day. Somebody told me a thing called FOMO, or your FOMO, something. What was it? It was FOMO, meaning not wanting to miss out on something.
Oh,
I can't remember what it
is. Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. That's right. And that's what this generation is.
I had to look that up 2 days ago. I didn't know that, yeah.
I didn't know that either because I'm old and I'm like a Who song talking about my generation. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about because I think you're all retarded. Okay. But we had that too. Do you know what I mean? I always knew there was a better party going on somewhere else, but I just didn't want to look at the guest list because it would depress me. Do you know what I mean? But now they all, I got to be at the best parties and all that sort of crap. It's weird, man, but they're bred on it. And we watched a documentary, of course, because that's how we learn now. Netflix on the Social Dilemma documentary.
And that's a great one. How
it just showed how the Silicon Valley has us all fucking hooked, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, they go, well, we hope we'll get out of it. You're not getting out of it. You're not. No, it's over, man. It's game over.
10 years, your kids will become the phone. You know, it's I think.
You think the kids nowadays can handle boredom? Really? Yeah. Not a chance, man. Well, not a chance.
My little sister back in the States.
2 hours. I haven't done anything. I think I'm going to put a gun in my mouth. Why am I not stimulated? Sorry.
And yeah, I'll put the gun in my mouth and we'll see how many likes it gets. No, but my little sister, she's in.
See how many likes it gets on Facebook?
It's like, hold on, maybe I'll do that selfie again. Nope, sorry.
That would be then you know you're the biggest loser if you shot yourself and only 3 people liked it.
Oh man, and you get like a little heart from some of your people who thought they were your friend, but they're really psyched that you're dead.
And they feel really bad now that they weren't there for you when the time was needed.
and then what they're going to do is they're going to share your status and then use it to promote themselves by going, we should all talk to each other and make sure our friends are taken care of, just to get their likes.
Do you know what the problem? You see, I don't think they read anymore. Yeah. I don't think they read. They find reading boring. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm even looking at yours. You got a shitload of books back there. I bet you even read a couple of them, didn't you, Helgi?
Yeah, 1 or 2 when I was high on shrooms.
Yeah, of course. You read. I read all the time, man. Like fucking, because that's where real knowledge comes. I'm not saying they can't read. All they get fed is fucking news or fucking advertisements and shit. They haven't actually read a book. I doubt they've ever looked into Nietzsche. Maybe a meme. Yeah. They saw a Nietzsche meme somewhere and then put their own meaning to it without even seeing the backstory of where it fucking came from.
Yeah, man, God is dead. Yeah, what is that?
What does that actually mean, man?
Yeah, I think that's a good point because
if you want to know, kids, socialism took over from God and it's eventually going to die now, man.
Yeah.
Socialism, God was the first socialist. God was the first, if you really want to know about Nietzsche, God was the first socialist. Christianity was the first time the weak all got together and created sin. The rich people hated it because when you're rich, you know, you don't need an afterlife. Shit's going really good here. Yeah. But when you're poor and everything sucks, you know, well, maybe it'll be better next time. Let's all band together. And so then it was help thy neighbor shit, which is socialism. Yeah. But then God died. God died because we didn't believe in him. And socialism and then human gods took over. And then as soon as that comes over, all these weenies think that we're all the same. And then Donald Trump shows up, who's a tyrant, who knows how to fucking manipulate you fucking weenies because he knows everything he says will have you crying out in the street. Yeah. Fucking, it's too fucking... If you read, you would have known that, you dumb fucks.
Yeah, Nietzsche. I think Nietzsche would have
looked at...
Sorry,
everybody. You're not dumb fucks. You're actually really beautiful people.
The Nietzsche...
You should all get trophies.
Participation in words. No, the Nietzsche...
Yeah.
Nothing was more Nietzsche-esque, God is dead, than when Donald Trump ordered the police to tear gas protesters so he could hold up the book. I mean,
of course. It was the best thing I'd ever seen.
That is the editorial of what you're not supposed to do to promote that particular agenda.
Yeah, man. But in ways, I know why the evangelicals like him, man. Because he's holding what they call power, man.
Yeah.
There's a power structure, and evangelicals love a power structure. It isn't about him being who he is. It's the fact of the matter that he's not being swayed by any of your opinions, man, which in a way is a quality. If everybody on that side became individuals instead of a group, you take this like nobody's business. But you're all part of a group, which means you're part of a mob. And once you're part of a mob, that's when insanity ensues, man.
Yeah.
Like you can even take this thing called white privilege. Like I hear that all the time, white privilege, and I don't even know I have it. Okay, do you know who said that about other people? Germany. They said that about the Jewish people. They had too much privilege, and then they put them in a gas chamber. I'm expecting to go into the gas chamber real soon, man.
Not until you put up another special, man.
Yeah, man.
No, but it's only like racism and privilege and all that. It is tied to groupthink. I think what people don't realize is that there is what we call geographical power dynamics. Yes, somebody, banging kids on Jeffrey Epstein's island, who's a stockbroker, whatever. Like, yes, those people do have. When I went to Chernobyl, when I was in Ukraine, it's a 3-hour bus ride from Kiev. And look, those people are poor. Like, drive down through, the South in America, drive through, parts of Ukraine, drive through parts of like those people. They're not privileged just because they're white. It's geographic. Also, racism is tied to geography. The power structure here is that, in America, yes, black people are they're getting harassed and shot and killed by cops. And there is systematic racism in the United States. But if you go to, let's say, Japan, the pecking order is very, very different. Koreans are looked down upon in Japan.
It's all relative. It's all relative.
Yeah.
It's all relative. I agree with that 100%. What is going on in America isn't going on in any other countries. But yet other countries are adopting the protests of America. Yeah. So it's weird. Like when I saw the Black Lives Matter over here, I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything over here. But the problem is that they put the tag privilege really fucks with you because nobody likes anyone with privilege, dude. It's a bad thing that you put privilege on me. I'm not privileged. Trust me. I'm totally not. Anyone who works for what they have looks privileged, but they don't realize how hard they work to get there. Do you know what I mean? Like in whatever community you are, there's going to be certain hurdles you're going to have to jump. But as soon as you put privilege in front of something, maybe one person you like that has privilege. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know what it's like? It's like when you're standing to get into a nightclub, right? Okay? You're in a nightclub. You're in that fucking line. You've been there for 2 hours, and then some cunt shows up in a Lamborghini and just walks in. Tell me, do you think that guy's cool, or do you hate his fucking guts, man? You know what I mean? And you're thinking, when I get in that bar, I'm gonna glass that motherfucker.
I mean, okay, I would say it's a cocktail of things. Like it's, not that nobody's saying there isn't systematic racism going on, but it's going back to what we're talking about. First of all, with groupthink, it's easy to be part of the mob. And the consensus is, like I was pointing out, like, okay, why is Charlie Sheen getting a Super Bowl commercial and is, held up as, being fun? Oh, yeah, he's a crazy, crazy guy. Whereas Louis C.K. has to go away. The crimes were completely, like, he was charged of something. Louis C.K. was just creepy. But because the mob latched onto what Louis did more so than Charlie Sheen, therefore, he needs to go away and he's the worst person ever. And that just becomes the consensus. Because it's too easy. Because it's like I think of like in China or in these communist countries back in the Cold War, it's like they would just agree on something and then that was the national consensus, and there was no further analysis. Because further analysis requires work and reading and having two distinct thoughts in your head at the same time, and that's just we don't really have time for that. We got memes to watch and ass pictures on Instagram to like.
Yeah, fucking. I'll get my camera out and send you a picture of my dick.
Man, but
dude, You know what the problem with that is too, though. Once you do that, once you open up that Pandora box, okay, of vilifying a guy like that, even though you're part of that group, nobody's perfect. So that group you're a part of is eventually going to find out what you did and turn on you. Yep. And that's how it implodes on itself. And it will implode on itself. Trust me.
Well, I mean,
there's not a doubt in my mind. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year. Yeah. But all of a sudden, you're going to find all these little things that people had hidden that they didn't want anyone to know, and they joined the group, and finally they found it. And all of a sudden, you're going to have this purge, like it's the Salem witch hunt. You know what I mean? Well, it's bad. I can't join any of them. I don't want to join any of them.
I'd say a better example would probably be the Cultural Revolution in China. So what they did in during that time is that
whatever except fine, Helgi. What up, B?
No, it's because well,
with your knowledge.
No, because the point is that Mao was saying we need to purge people who are not communist enough, who are not Maoist enough, and then pretty soon people there, and he was encouraging neighbors to rat out each other. And then when the person who has more skeletons in their closet went, fuck, I got to rat this person out because they're, I'm going to deflect whatever it is I hate about myself on that person.
Dude, you're totally right, man. You know what? That's the community that we're living in. They have a lot in common with Chairman Mao. They do. They have tons in common because they are ratting everybody out. There's all these little groups now sitting there going, if you see something that you don't like in a green room, here's the committee to report it. We'll do something about it to the committee the committee of the committee. Yeah, man. So there's happening here already. There's a bunch of them.
So what is the stand? What's the standard?
The word that'll trigger them.
What are the standards of behavior in the green room that they won't accept?
Well, just don't try and pick up anybody in there. Unless you're doing it in the right way, apparently. You can't, anything clumsy could be seen as sexual abuse or something like that. It's just stupid.
But see, there it goes again. Is we're going into the Me Too thing. It's sort of the same thing with racism. Is that they're taking something that is actually a legitimate problem, but because they don't have an antidote to it, they just sort of they create their own sort of narrative to think that whatever it is that they're solving the problem. I mean, Bill Maher had a really good point about this after Me Too, which was that saying not every guy who made a woman feel uncomfortable did it because he's an asshole. The women,
that makes sense. Yeah,
they'll like a certain.
He was just wrong. He was just clumsy.
Well, there could be that, but he's also saying when Tom Cruise says, "I'm not letting you get rid of me," it's adorable. But when Ted Cruz says it, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah, totally. Again, relative. Yeah. Again, very relative. That's totally it. And it works on both sides. Like the thing is, you tell me that there ain't girls out there that marry dudes because they're rich and divorce them and fuck their whole lives up and scar them forever that way. There's lots of scars out there. People just have to take responsibility for their own lives. That's the problem, man.
But that's
nobody wants to really do that.
Nobody wants to take responsibility because that's complex, and that's what I want to do.
It is complex.
I want to, I want to latch on to a groupthink and a mob because therefore I'm pissing in the ocean, and I don't need to actually address something that puts me on the spot.
Exactly, dude, and that's what we're losing in this world. You know what I mean? That's why, But you can only I don't think I can change the world, but I can change. I can be a role model in my own house. You know what I mean? And
not
see
just in
that flourish.
Not just in your own house, man. You've done that for loads of comics. Myself included. People were saying that when I got back from our tour there that because before I did your tour, I never did crowd work. I was just scared of it. There's not a culture in Iceland of doing crowd work. We just have that sort of, I'll tell the joke, you'll laugh, we get drunk, and then I go home. And then you were saying to me, don't be afraid of it. Because first of all, the standard for doing crowd work on the spot becomes a lot lower because people know you're just kind of
Hey,
riffing.
Sexy, I'll be in there in a bit. That's the girl I'm sexually assaulting every night, my wife.
Hey, Jude.
Hey, Jude. Helgi says hi.
But yeah,
Hi,
you.
Helgi.
But no, you were saying like just don't be afraid of it. Just do crowd work, try it out. And yeah, I started doing it after the Bristol show, and did a bit of it in
People
Northampton
love
as
to
well.
talk, man.
They do, man, and it's
People
also
love to talk to you.
and it feeds
And
into
as long as it's in such a fun environment, you can say anything.
yeah.
They don't take it personal.
Well,
You know what I mean?
but it also feeds into their narcissism because now it's about them. So
Yeah.
that's
My
but yeah,
dad said it the best. And I'm pretty sure he got it from somebody else. But in all honesty, everybody likes talking about themselves because everybody has a beautiful story that they want to tell somebody. And if you ask anybody about themselves, they'll be more than happy to tell you. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Because everybody's life has so many beautiful hurdles, like I was really thinking, like, the problem with a lot of the things now is we only want happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We
That's a good
only
point.
want happiness, but happiness only comes after suffering. Do you know what I mean? So they want to get rid of the suffering part and only have happiness. It's like drugs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make you happy for no fucking reason. And I'll give you an example. The same way, say you buy some IKEA furniture, right? And it's frustrating as fuck. It's taking you 8 hours. You're mad. You're smashing hammers. You're screaming at your family. But then when you get it done, fuck the elation that comes over you. The pure joy that you actually survived it. That's where happiness comes from. There ain't no yang without yin. And that's what this society is trying to have. They just want pure happiness. Like safe spaces? Are you fucking kidding me? We on our podcast, we call it a dangerous safe space. Well, that's what we call it. This is a dangerous space that's safe to say whatever the fuck you want to say without everybody judging you because you might have an off-kilt opinion. But you have the right to have that opinion, even if I think it's wrong. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as it ain't against the law, say whatever the fuck you want to say, man.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, and the happiness is what you're mentioning is spot on, man. I mean, how many times have you gone on a weekend bender? You did drugs, you were drinking, and then on Monday you just feel like such a piece of shit. That's not necessarily because of the hangover. That's just because you blew all your serotonin in one place. And,
yeah, man.
And the same thing goes for, true happiness in life. You need the hurdles. I mean, we come as humans. We are the product of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers, and we need the fight. We need the struggle to make, not just to gain what we want to get in life, but also to make sure that the thing that we ultimately do get makes us happy. If you're in a society where, you just get memes and, 30-second clips and stuff, and that makes you laugh. And then your attention span gets lower, and I'm horny. Let's go on Tinder, and then you swipe. Oh yeah, I can. Hey, are you?
No work
free?
for it.
There's no work. There's no. So you keep getting pelted by things that should be making you happy, but are in fact making you completely miserable.
That's why I enjoy offending people. I love offending people because what I'm really doing is delivering them happiness later on. When they overcome that offense and feel good about themselves, then my fucking work is done here.
So
okay?
that's
By not offending you, I'm making you miserable. Fucking, you'll eventually get bored of it. But if I offend you and you overcome it, and then you feel like a better person because I took that person's offense and I'm still okay. You built your IKEA shelf. Now get the fuck out of here, you fucking crazy lesbian whore.
I was gonna say you've summited your, working class Mount Everest with that Billy Bog shelf, but
yeah, man, you bet. Whatever the supper it is, dude. I don't know, but yeah, that's what the thing is to me, man. There's got to be a bit of a struggle somewhere, and they're trying to get rid of struggle, which is just it'll never happen. By you trying to get rid of struggling is you struggling, you dumb fucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
That in itself is a struggle.
the goal that you're trying to achieve is never going to happen. So you're never going to be happy. Trying to get rid of struggle, which is never going to happen. So you're never going to achieve anything. So you'll never have happiness.
Yeah, no, that's
bam. That sounded good. I hope that was
there it is,
right.
right. That is right there. I'm going to record that and use it as a motivational clip. But no, it's definitely true, and it's the same thing for us in comedy. Is that it's why we were saying you're the funniest when you are in the grind, and why you become lazy. I mean, when Bill Burr was here in the green room,
I love Bill Burr. I think he's one of the greatest. I think he's properly, but he's in danger now. He's in danger.
Because of the kids and the money and
no, because he's getting too big again.
Really?
That's the danger. Everybody knows. Well, I'm pretty sure Bill is like every other comedian. What the fuck am I going to talk about now? Yeah. You know what I mean? My new special, my new whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I mean, he may overcome it. You know what I mean? He may. Of course, I'm not saying he's talented enough, and it's not my place to say who is. But I definitely know that would weigh on his mind. I would probably put money on it that is something that he probably thinks about because he's not dumb enough not to think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, when he did his set here in Reykjavik, when he was leaving to go back to the hotel.
Know that.
Well, because when he was on a European tour with Joe Bartnick. And when they
old Joey Bartnick,
yeah, man,
that guy's still around, huh?
Puck-Off's morning skate. No, okay, no, he's so they were doing a European tour, and the first place they stopped off was Reykjavik, and he did the same the theater that you did during Scotch on Ice, the Harpa.
Oh, cool, man! Yeah, that's a great one. That was so fun. That old dude that I fucking had in the. That I had in the thing, me and him had it out pretty good, man. Well, that was fucking hilarious.
That was you. That was the pointing of generational shifts, right? You had that really loudmouth chick in the on left center stage, and then that old dude who was just like, yep, going through it, yep.
Yeah, man.
Like, you couldn't have asked for better examples for that particular bit that you were doing.
Yeah, man, that was beautiful that day. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. So
So Bill Burr was, and when he got off stage, like he had a great set. There was this one girl who was texting in the front, just being. I think she just showed up to be a bitch. She found out Bill Burr was coming. No, this was not at the big show. This was at our comedy club. So he was doing our comedy club to warm up for the big show. And this girl was texting, and she's like, "Actually, I'm not interested in listening to your misogynistic, ableist, whatever." And she was like, oh, "Okay, fine. You don't like my material. Don't, go ahead. Text away. I hope you get
thumb." Back up. You're misogynistic. What?
She said misogynistic and ableist. Ableist.
Oh, you virtuous signaling little cunt.
You didn't even know what the hell she was talking
you're
about.
So much better than all of us.
Yeah.
Your fucking opinions that we don't all share in this room.
Well, but he answered it so fucking well. He's like, "Okay, fine. You don't like my comedy. Text away. I hope you get thumb cancer."
Yeah, man. But I would have went deeper on that one, man. Totally went deeper on that one.
But the thing that he was afterwards, when we were up in the green room, he was asking us. He was asking, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year open mic headliners. Like, what did you guys think? Was that all right? Could I work a little bit hard? It's like, dude, you're Bill fucking Burr. What are you asking us? But then I realized, he never wants to feel like he's in the comfort zone, because even if he's just asking, open micers and stuff.
You're his peers, man.
Exactly. But
you're his peers. You actually knew, like, while the audience is enjoying the magic that's going on, you guys are in the back knowing how the trick is done. And he's really just asking you, like, you knew what I was doing. Did I do that well? Yeah. Because you're the only ones that could actually give him honest feedback if you weren't so chicken shit to not people please. No, that was great, Bill. Even if it sucked, you would have said, no, it was super awesome. Because I'm totally scared of you.
You're so
not
great,
liking me.
Well, you signed my F is for Family DVDs. It's
yeah.
I think, it's a good point. You got to have the honesty. As long as people just keep telling you, man, that, you're God's gift to everything. That's how cults start, and before you know, you got you got Jonestown.
Trust me, Tootie has told me a lot of shit I don't want to fucking hear, and it's because she loves me.
Yeah, and that
which hurts me, man.
and that is a good fail-safe.
Like when a stranger tells me the same shit Tootie says, I can take it.
But that's a good self. It keeps you honest, you know. It keeps you.
Yeah, of course it does.
What's next for you, Tom?
But I don't tell her because I still like her.
Of course.
I don't tell her. I don't tell her the truth. Why would I do that? That'd fuck up my relationship. I lie.
Those are the power dynamics.
Yeah, totally. It's cool that the girl tells the dude what's really going on, but the dude can't tell the girl because then the girl. That's why we lie.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to know.
And then they're so surprised that we do. It's like, no, we've been trained since our very first girlfriend.
You lied to me. How can I ever trust you again? Trust me that I will always lie and make you feel good. That's where the trust is. You're looking at the wrong trust here. The real trust is you can trust the fact that I'm always going to tell you shit that's going to make you feel good. Okay? And you can tell me shit that makes me feel like a pile of shit so I can fucking change and be a better human being. Duh.
There you go. Also, we don't exactly work in the business of telling the truth. The truth isn't funny, unless you're talking about 2020.
The truth is funny, man. The truth is becoming the funniest. If you're brave enough to say it. You gotta be Galileo brave nowadays. You know what I mean? You gotta be like, no, man, we're revolving around the sun. Get that cunt up in a tower now. Don't let him talk to anybody. He'll fuck it all up for us.
We'll burn you at the stake.
Yep, you betcha.
But what's up for you next? I mean, all the comedy clubs in the UK are still shut, right? I'm guessing you're not.
I already told you, man. I did invest in Stade so I could ride this motherfucker out. I love the lockdown. I'm not gonna lie. I love it, and I wear a mask and I wash my hands because it's a virus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a virus, and it's something called common sense, people. I know you're thinking that there's government conspiracies, but we can all agree it's a virus. So whether the government's fucking us over or not, I have no idea. But my common sense tells me that if I don't want to get this virus, I cover my mouth and I wash my hands. And if we all did that, instead of you guys all fucking with your protests and your stupid ass freedom fights, this thing would have been gone and we would have been back to work, you fucking assholes.
But then, Tom...
But whatever, who am I to tell?
But Tom, then how does Tom Hanks feed into the QAnon conspiracy people when we are... no, I mean, this is... Yeah, it's true.
I have no... Maybe he does. Look, here's what I'm saying to all you conspiracy theorists. Maybe Bill Gates is. Maybe the government's killing us. Maybe freedom of speech. But we can all agree that there is a virus, and the way to kill a virus is this and this. If everybody did that, this thing would be gone. But we got too many lunatics out there on Facebook being fed the fucking truth that they want to fucking hear, man. Do you know what I mean? So
and everyone's a fucking and everyone turns into an expert. Where as they should listen, they should be listening to experts. Comics.
Yeah, totally. That's why I'm living in my Waco bunker compound with a fucking shotgun in case one of these COVID zombies shows up and fails my digital fever gun test.
You're waiting for the COVID ATF to storm your fucking cabin.
Yeah, I've got a digital fever thingy. If you come to my house, I ray you before you even show up, man.
Just as David Kirsch did, man.
Yeah, man, we're stockpiling medical equipment and children.
So we
have to repopulate this fucking
Adam and Eve, everything. Just have them go Alabama on each other.
Yeah, man. I found out where conspiracy theory came from, man. Or I was told. Like, this is my truth right now. It started out with the Kennedy thing. Before Kennedy, there was nothing. There was no thing called conspiracy theorists. Yeah. It started out when Kennedy got shot. That's when the word conspiracy theory came into play, and now they just use it for everything, man. Like everything. It's so, you know, even if you are telling the truth that they don't want to hear, you know, it's just a great label to discredit you now. Do you know what I mean? We love a good label. That's what we do. We love a good label. We're good at labeling things. Yeah. I don't want to be labeled because I'm not done yet.
Well, I think conspiracy theories were a lot more popular after, like you said, after Kennedy, and then there was 9/11. But I think what's been happening in the last few years has actually fed into a lot of the conspiracy theories with like Jeffrey Epstein. You know, like it's just so fucking obvious the way they just offed him like that. And, you know, with Navalny in Russia, like Putin's not even hiding it anymore. And I think people just politicians are just going, fuck it. I mean, they're going to either believe, you know, that we're doing this, or they're going to believe something that's even crazier. So why even bother hiding it? And I think that's, you know, all the conspiracies, they have a grain of truth in it, but then they just get completely pelted by nonsense.
I love the Bill Gates one right now. Yeah, Bill Gates has got nothing better to do than vaccinate us all. Like Bill Gates wants to control us all through his 5G tower, where one said that if he injects us with his vaccine, I won't be able to believe in his land.
I think that is such a, imagine just being, I mean, like he laughs all the way to the bank, but imagine being someone who devotes his entire adult life to saving people, you know, helping fight diseases, getting water, malaria treatment.
So his cancer was creating the internet. That's how he destroyed us. He doesn't need a vaccine.
That's true.
By creating Google and Microsoft, he pretty much sowed the seeds of disaster.
Yeah, you know? he can blame himself for his own destruction, I guess.
Yeah, but he it's the same thing. He did it because he thought he was doing good. You know what I mean? Do-gooders are the ones that destroy us. The righteous, the ones that believe solely in their conviction that they're doing good, are the most destructive, man.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true. That's true. They the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Every fucking time, man. You don't think the Crusades, the people thought they were doing good? Huh?
Yeah,
every time a suicide Islamic bomber blows himself up, you don't think they think they're doing good.
Yeah,
they're all do-gooders, man. They don't just let people live. They don't let people just be crazy. They don't let people be weird. They don't let people be anything. They all want them to be this one thing, and that's the problem with all these righteous cunts. You know what I mean? And I just, you know, I got to stay away from them.
Yeah, the one thing.
I like weird people. I love them.
Yeah, because they're themselves. You know, this is, you know, the righteous people will say, I want everyone to be this way, but it has to be the way I approve of them. I have to approve. You need to speak, and they just keep moving the goalpost. You know, there's a great.
And that's why I have a shotgun.
So it's going to be just an amazing. I think, like, if any sort of futuristic, you know, what like disaster movie, end of the world kind of thing, I think that would be such a funny transformation. You know, the comedian who was, you know, selling out theaters, who was, you know, on the doing the Apollo. And then just cut to he's just, you know, cleaning out his shotgun, waiting for, you know, the zombie people or whatever, like the
COVID zombie to show up and try and steal my food.
Yeah. Oh God.
Do you got any toilet paper?
Jesus.
You're gonna have to wipe your ass with leaves, pal. Now move along.
I'm not doing any fucking punchlines here, buddy.
I can see you around, pal.
Man, Tom, it is always so good to hear from you, man. I miss you.
I love you dearly, Helgi.
I think
I love I just make sure I love everybody. I really do. I think they're all fucked.
I know you do. I know.
That's the one. That's the one thing. I know people are flawed, so I don't try to correct them, and that's what I love about them.
I think it's that kind of love that's definitely going to get us through this time, man. And look,
it's the proper kind of love.
It is. It's our testing time, and you know we can go one of two ways. We can end up killing each other and just going into civil wars and World War III.
We will.
Or we will. I know. But the people that
it's happening.
But though it's
Too late.
gonna be like the dinosaurs. The ones who hate, they're the dinosaurs. They die out. The ones who love, I think they're gonna be the ones who come out and become the mammals, and then whatever happens later will be thanks to them.
George Carlin said it the best. The planet's fine. It's us that's going.
There you go. Perfect note to end
He
on.
was dead on, man. All right, Helgi.
All right.
Thanks for having me on your
Hey,
podcast, buddy.
Thank you for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Let's stay in touch, and hey, who knows? Maybe if things go back to normal, we're gonna have to catch up again, buddy.
Yeah, man. I'll bring you on some more gigs with me. No problems. That'd be easy.
I love that, man. All right, give my best to Trudy and the kids. All right.
Bad deal, baby.
All right, take care, buddy.